Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Israel was supposed to celebrate its 77th Independence Day yesterday, and instead it had to deal with the biggest fires it witnessed in its history, with the state officially declaring emergency, a national state of emergency, and asking for help from many countries around the world. For the second day in a row, Israel still hasn't been able to take down these fires that were supported by abnormal levels of wind that have been going on all across of Israel. These were some of the videos that were circulating online from yesterday. People in the streets going off from their cars, cars burning, and people running away on foot, fires spreading everywhere, and the fire services unable to take control, unable to take them down. Israel asked for help from many countries across the world. Although there were companies inside of the state of Israel that had the capacity to deal with these fires, but internal problems and internal politics prevented them from doing so, according to some statements coming from senior officials inside the state of Israel. Now, how did it begin? And is it something deliberate? Were these people who actually started the fires, or was it a natural cause? Now, officially, yesterday, Israel declared that the fires began because of the heat and because of strong winds. But there were suspicious things circulating, especially with media outlets and networks in Israel and individuals declaring that these fires are in more than one location. As a matter of fact, there was a publication in one of the Israeli websites that was referring to an individual who published a map of these fires in Israel, claiming that there were in total 23 fires spread out across the whole country. Israel managed to, according to the report, take some of the fires down. However, the majority of them, they were not taken down, especially the ones in Jerusalem. Now, Israel had to take severe measures after these fires, canceling the Independence Day, no more celebrations. This report said authorities canceled Independence Day torch lighting ceremony due to strong winds. No ceremonies, no nothing whatsoever. And also other shows were canceled, music festivals all across the country. TV networks, they had to change their location of broadcasting, especially channels 12 and 13 in Israel. They had to move from the areas surrounding Jerusalem to other locations and secondary studios in the Tel Aviv area. This means that there was a very big risk on these people's lives. Like I said, over 5,000 acres, Israel reported, burnt since yesterday, still burning, and Israel is still taking severe measures to take them down, asking for help from countries internationally. Now, this isn't the first time that Israel had fire spreading in a large scale. It happened in 2010. And at the time, Israel declared that they arrested people who were in charge of setting these fires. Now, you might ask, why would people want to set up fires inside of Israel? Well, as you can see from the past 18 months, many people have many reasons to start fires in Israel. Israel has been conducting a genocide in Gaza. Many people are not pleased with the government and the politicians and everything in the state. So they take it out in cases like this by lighting up fires, setting fires in the country. Now, the fact that this fire started on Israel's 77th Independence Day shows that, well, someone must have been behind this, right? 77th, you're going to celebrate. We're not going to let you celebrate. Instead, we're going to burn the whole country down. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, is officially declaring that people are arrested. There was this report here in Ynet saying that Netanyahu claiming that 18 were arrested on suspicion of arson and that the police were surprised. Now there's a lot of criticism in relation to the police. People are saying, well, you haven't been prepared. We already had situations like this before. Why are you saying that you were surprised? But others are saying that the police is trying to hide the fact that they're incompetent and they couldn't stop this fire being set up in multiple points across the country, which could be something organized, by the way, judging by the fact that there were reports about over 24 fires, over 23 fires approximately, and all across the country. But the major ones were set in Jerusalem. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu is saying 18 have been arrested. There haven't been other confirmations that 18 were arrested. Other media outlets said that no, it was actually 2 people who were arrested, and these people were Palestinians. So Palestinians who live in next to Jerusalem. Some of them would have Israeli nationality and others from nearby locations. Okay, so there's a confirmation that people were held because, okay, they started the fire. All right, what are they going to do about the people who actually set up the... Firstly, they need to confirm. According to Netanyahu, one of them has been arrested during the process. He was actually trying to set up the fires, and he was arrested during the process of setting this up. But the police haven't released a confirmation yet that this is actually true. Benjamin Netanyahu is potentially trying to show people that we have everything under control, but he can't hide the fact that there are other criticisms coming against the state of Israel, especially with the government being accused directly of failing to take the fire threat seriously, despite years of warnings not only from acts of arson against the country, but also the preparedness of the country in relation to taking down the fires. One of the people who criticized was Ben Gvir, actually, who said we have over 6 planes that can take down these fires, but the state isn't using them because of financial reasons, saying that they don't want to pay them. However, the other report that we had was that they needed 1 day of training before they start taking these fires down. Now, the fact that these fires started on the Israeli Independence Day, the fact that the locations were very sensitive, and it wasn't only like mountains or whatever, it was actually Israeli bases. Like in this video you can see here, some of the Israeli soldiers, they were videoing themselves running away from the fire in an Israeli base. So clearly these fires were chosen deliberately in certain locations against the Israeli terror army bases so that they can have a lot of damage against them. And it wasn't just this base here. There was the Israeli museum for one of the army museums inside the state of Israel, like we can see in this video over here. See the fires coming next to the tanks, burning the whole place down, which clearly indicates that we're talking about an act of arson or an act of anything against the country, really, that has been committing this genocide for the past 18 months in Gaza, with people clearly being frustrated. Now, they don't have control over the fires yet. Netanyahu is trying to show confidence, trying to show no, that we're actually here and everything is under control and we're going to take it down. And he was speaking about absolute victory. In his recent speech, Benjamin Netanyahu was starting to talk about the absolute victory in Gaza, the fact that we're not going to stop until we achieve total victory. And there are talks coming from Israel about the complete defeat of Hamas inside the Rafah area, because Israel wants to control the whole area completely. And a response came from Hamas in relation to that. They said that Israel will be seeing in Rafah things that they haven't even seen before, and that simply isn't going to happen. Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to take down the level of severity and ridicule, in a way, what his army is facing inside of the Gaza Strip, which is an increased level of resistance coming from the Palestinian resistance against the Israeli genocide army inside of the Gaza Strip.